Let's talk about the difference between 3/4 and 6/8 meters. Here are two examples, one in 3/4 and one in 6/8, that actually look pretty similar. So what's the real difference? Let's dive in here. In 3/4, you have 3 beats per measure. So we would have 3 quarter notes. We're looking at that bottom one. This is part of simple meter. So I have 3 quarter notes. 1, 2, 3. From here, they subdivide, meaning that they can break in half. So I have quarter note, which subdivides into 2 eighth notes. So by doing this subdivision, I'm only dividing it into 2, and that's 1 beat. I do it again, that's beat 2. And I do it again, that's beat 3. 3/4 is a simple meter because you have quarter notes, because you have simple divisions. You have 1 and 2 and 3 and, or 1 te, 2 te, 3 te. 6/8, on the other hand, is a compound meter, so that means that we are subdividing the beat by 3. In this case, eighth note gets the beat, and we will have 6 eighth notes. Now, where this is different from 3/4, yeah, I had 6 eighth notes in that measure of 3/4, but the division and the groupings in 6/8 are going to look different. So in 6/8, I'm going to group them into 3s. So these are all going to be triplets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I do the opposite than what I did in 3/4, where I started with the larger duration and subdivided it from there, these are the subdivisions. And from here, I'm going to make the duration longer. So 3 eighth notes together equals 1 dotted quarter note. You can also think about this. If I put 3 eighth notes together, that's 1 beat, 1.5. The dot gives you that half beat. So dotted quarter note, 3/8 in 6/8 is beat 1. So here's beat 1, and then we'll do the same for the second beat. Here's beat 2. If I go back to 3/4, I had 1, 2, 3 beats. In 6/8, I have 1, 2. So this ends up sounding different too when we're counting and conducting. When we're looking at music, this 3/4 excerpt has something that looks like what you would find in 6/8 quite often. Here it is in 6/8, but here it is in 3/4. They're counted differently. In 3/4, it's 1 and or 1 te because it falls on the upbeat. If we're thinking in quarter notes, that's only half a beat. So this is going to be syncopated. On the other side, if we're in 6/8, that would be 2 la. And we'll get to that in just a second. So you probably already know your simple meter counting, where you have 1 and 2 and 3 and, or 1 te, 2 te, 3 te. Those are the most common ways of saying that. In 6/8, sure, you can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but most accepted today is 1 la li, 2 la li. So that would look like 1 la li, 2 la li. So your triplets are the lollies. You still have the beat there, 1, 2, 1 la li, 2 la li. That means when we're counting this same rhythm in 6/8, 1 li, 2 la, 1 li, 2 la. So that eighth note, 2, falls on the beat, and that quarter note there is only worth 2 eighth notes, so it's 2 la. And we hold out. Also notice how different they look. All of our 3/4 example here has eighth notes grouped in pairs, in 2s. And in our 6/8 example, we have all triplets. You don't see anything that looks like that. If you do see something that looks like this in 6/8, it'll have a 2 over it. So it would look like this, 2. Kind of like in 3/4, if we look at the example before, in 3/4, we have examples here of triplets that have 3s over them. So it goes both ways. And if I was to conduct these, my triple meter would be 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Whereas my 6/8 down here, since I have two big beats, the 2 beats is what gets conducted. So my 2 beats would be 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 lolly, 2 lolly, 1 lolly, 2 lolly. So essentially 6/8 is actually closely related to 2/4 because of the conducting style, but it has the same amount of eighth notes as 3/4. They're just grouped differently. Stay tuned for some of my other videos where I will give you an example in 6/8. I'll give you the beats and I'll have you conduct and count it on your own, and then I will count it for you so you can see if you did it correctly. Thanks for coming.